What's the big deal about kefir? Should I buy it or should I make it? Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Honeycast. I want to talk about all things kefir. Now, I'm going to tell you, this information is actually from Culture Food Life. You can go check that website out. Donna has got a plethora of great information about so many different fermented type foods. And so I love what she teaches about kefir. I have done kefir actually off and on for the last probably 20 years, but it wasn't until the last maybe 2-3 years that I have just become the biggest believer. As a matter of fact, I want every single person in my family drinking it. I give kefir away. I talk about it all the time. It is just a powerhouse, a superfood for your gut. And if you are in midlife, you are going to need all the help you can get for weight loss, for overall health, for hormone support, insulin sensitivity, and all the things. And I want to tell you that kefir can actually be a superfood that can help you. Now, this is what I've heard, okay? What I've heard is store-bought kefir is about as good as Greek yogurt or maybe even less. If you are making kefir at home, you are getting over 50 billion different strands of good bacteria. I looked up the type of bacteria. I can't even say half of the words. I was going to tell you what they are. I'm just going to say there's lots. There is benefit to the live culture, and it is super simple. I promise you, I'm not just saying it's simple just so that you'll go do it. I'm saying it is so dadgum simple that even my mom, who never does anything and stays with anything, is able to do it. And I'm not even dumbing down anybody. I'm just saying, if you feel like you don't have time, this literally takes 5 minutes. It is so easy. So I'll tell you how I do it at the end. First, I want to tell you why it's such a superfood. I have kefir every single day. It has been in my diet pretty much every single day, unless I go out of town. And sometimes I'll actually take kefir with me depending on where I'm going. But kefir is loaded with probiotics, and it helps balance your gut bacteria. We have millions of gut bacteria, and they all do different things. Did you know that? They all have different jobs, our gut bacteria. We have gut bugs that help with our brain, that help with our hormones, that help with fat loss, that help with metabolism, that help with all kinds of things. And so we really want to have a variety. We want to have a variety of gut bugs. And also, a healthy gut is important for menopause years, because one thing that does happen is our gut it changes and it becomes compromised. And so one of the things that can really help with hormonal symptoms and overall health and weight loss is going to be to support your gut. It's, probably the number one thing we need to be doing is supporting our gut, because it's so related to everything. So it improves digestion, it reduces bloating, it enhances nutrient absorption. Isn't that interesting? When you have kefir, you absorb your nutrients better. All of this is going to be helpful for weight management as well. Also, it can help reduce inflammation. When you have good gut bugs, you can bring that inflammation down, which is a huge cause of weight gain and belly fat in midlife. Not to mention visceral fat, which is the dangerous fat that's around our organs. So we really want to make sure that we are supporting our gut so that we can deal with that inflammation. The other thing that it does is that it helps with our metabolism. If our digestive system is kicking it, our metabolism can kick it. So it really works in helping establish, having our good gut microbiome help us with our boosting a metabolism. It also helps with insulin sensitivity, which you hear me talk a lot about as far as weight gain in midlife. A lot of it is because of insulin and high insulin levels, which cause our body to store fat. So it helps improve blood sugar control and insulin sensitivity. Anything that helps you with blood sugar control is a yes in the land of weight loss. It's a yes in the land of hormone support. It's a yes in the land of providing well-being for your body. So it can prevent insulin spikes, which lead to fat storage and, of course, belly fat. It reduces inflammation. So chronic inflammation is linked to weight gain and obesity, and it has anti-inflammatory properties that help reduce inflammation throughout the gut and throughout the body. It also helps increase satiety. The protein and fat content in kefir can help you feel fuller longer. I love to have a kefir afternoon snack, and sometimes I'll even have a kefir smoothie for breakfast. It is something that I can do like an afternoon snack. I'll do like 4 ounces, or I'll make a kefir pudding. In the morning, I'll do more like maybe a cup of kefir and add berries to it and add some fiber to it. Sometimes I'll add some veggies in there, some baobab, and then protein powder. It's actually one of my favorite breakfasts to have. I love to have that with just a piece of sprouted toast with like maybe a teaspoon of, or a tablespoon of avocado or 2 teaspoons of almond butter or something. It's just nice to have something to eat. And then also to make sure I'm getting the good bacteria, I'm getting protein, I'm getting fiber, I'm getting everything I need. That's kind of a running out the door type breakfast that I like. It is rich in nutrients. It contains calcium, magnesium, and vitamin D, which are essential for fat metabolism, muscle function, and overall health. So, how do I use kefir? Let me just tell you, there are a couple of ways you can do it. You can get kefir grains, which you can order those. You can find those for free a lot of time on Facebook Marketplace, or even you can post in different groups. You can go to different places and ask, hey, do you want to share some kefir grains? Your kefir grains, usually people will just send them to you. Sometimes you have to pay a little bit, but kefir grains they look like little brains. And that's what is fermenting your milk. And basically the grains are alive. And so they grow. If your kefir is healthy, they grow. And so a lot of times people will just have a lot of grains. And so they'll share. Another thing that you can do with your grains when you get a bunch is just put them in your blender and blend them up. They're beautiful and wonderful. They're just as good as the kefir. So you can use kefir grains. They are a little like having a pet in that. Definitely not like having a pet, but sort of, because you kind of have to take care of them. If you're fermenting them regularly, they're great. If you're going to take a break, you'll want to put it in the refrigerator for a little bit. Sometimes if you leave them in there for too long and you haven't fermented, sometimes I had to throw them out. Sometimes I could revive them. There's a little bit of understanding how to take care of them, but it's really not that hard. I will tell you a much easier way, and that is I'm using a freeze-dried kefir starter, which is just a powder. And one packet can kefir 20 or 30 quart jars. You just keep fermenting it. You start your starter with milk and the dried powder. Basically, it's like 3 steps. You let it ferment. Then you're going to add milk. You can add almond milk, coconut milk, regular milk. There is such thing as water kefir. You want to get different grains for that. First, I'm going to go with milk. So I use skim milk and raw milk just because we get raw milk, but you can totally do store-bought milk. You would want to do 1% or skim. I kind of like 1%, 2% because the fattier it is, the thicker it is. And it's still going to be, you can use that in any setting. That's going to be a fuel pool. So basically what you do is you get your starter, which is about maybe a fourth of a cup, a half of a cup of your kefir. I'm going to pour my milk in a jar. I like a plastic top. I put it in a cupboard. I know for me in my house, I'm going to ferment it for about 8 to 12 hours. Even if you fermented it for longer, it separates. It's still okay. You can shake it up. You can put it in a smoothie and you never know. I like to get mine before it starts to separate because it's really thick and I like that thick texture, especially if I'm going to make a kefir pudding. When I take that kefir down, I shake it up. I pour a fourth of a cup in another jar and I either put it in the fridge to store to ferment more later, or I go ahead and ferment another quart. Now, I'm usually fermenting maybe 2 quarts a week, if not more than that, because a lot of us are having it. So it just depends. Super simple. And I can ferment. I can keep going. How do I know it's time to use a new packet? I guess if it doesn't taste kefiry. Now, most people that do not have a casein allergy, maybe they just have a food intolerance to milk, most people can do kefir because all the lactose is eaten up in the fermentation process. So I know a lot of people that are milk intolerant or dairy intolerant, and they can do regular milk. If you are skeptical, you can always start with a nut milk. You can start with a different type milk. You're still going to get a great product. You're still going to get a lot of probiotics in there. You would basically just kind of have to see what your body does, but we are using the regular milk. And it is just one of those things. It's just kind of like my vitamins every day. I love making sure that my gut is taken care of. So a couple ways I use the kefir. I do a smoothie. I do fruit. I either make an E carb-based smoothie or a fuel pool or an S. You can do whatever. I like to use my kefir, maybe 3/4 of a cup, and make smoothies and add whatever I'm wanting to add in there. and always protein powder. I'm adding more protein powder. I love the optimized protein powders, especially vanilla with the kefir, just because it sweetens it and I can actually make it taste however I want to. There's a little bit of sour, but not a whole lot of sour. I make a kefir pudding, same thing. I'll use chocolate or vanilla optimized protein powder, baobab, a little bit of glucose or psyllium husk, like a teaspoon, and I will mix it up and I'll let it sit for a minute and I'll put berries on top and it is a lovely kefir pudding. I also can use it if I am making pancakes, or sometimes I'll make cornbread for the family and I'll use that instead of buttermilk. So you can use it as a sour, kind of soak your pancakes, soak your flour, or like I'm using it, if I'm using it for cornbread for the family, I'll use it like that. So there's many different ways, that you can use it. You can make salad dressings. I haven't done that yet. It's on my list. Right now, I just really love having my smoothie each day. And if for whatever reason I don't have a smoothie, I get my shaker bottle and sometime during the day, and I add a little bit of protein powder and kefir, a little bit of baobab. I love the baobab because it's adding fiber. It's giving me vitamin C and iron. And I shake that up, drink it down. I'm feeding my gut. And I also feel really good when I'm using the kefir. If you have thought, this is just too much, I can't do this, I get it. Might not be for you right now. But if you have just a little bit, I think I can do this. I would encourage that you consider adding that into your midlife routine. Hello friends, I'm so excited to share this with you. My Midlife Strong 12 Days of Fitness program is here, and it's perfect for the busy midlife woman who wants to stay active and feel amazing through the holidays. For just $27, you'll get 12 days of quick, effective workouts, all under 20 minutes, designed to build strength, boost your metabolism, and help you feel energized and confident. We'll do a mix of strength training, low-impact Pilates, mobility, and flexibility, everything you need to feel strong and balanced this season. It's simple, doable, and fun. You don't need fancy equipment, just light weights, a mat, and a little time. So if you're ready to prioritize yourself and finish the year strong, click the link and let's do this together, friend. You are going to feel so good.